How's everyone doing? Today I have a Blu-ray update with 8 pickups right here, and if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them. And I got these all from Best Buy, and they were having an awesome deal where it was buy one, get one free for Blu-ray Steelbooks. And I didn't even know about the deal until I saw it. I was like, holy moly, why didn't I hear anybody talk about this? So I was definitely souped on that. I'm going to save the Steelbooks for last. I'm going to show you what I got. There's some ones in here that I haven't seen, including this first one, which I've heard people rave about, Train to Busan. Yeah, it looks like from the trailers, it kind of reminds me of like Snowpiercer meets 28 Days Later. You know, I've heard just people rave and say it was one of the best zombie movies ever. But again, it's one of these things, is it a zombie movie or an infected movie? 28 Days Later was an infected movie. It was the rage virus. It was people just getting infected and acting crazy and turning into monsters and killing people. They weren't dead. Now, Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead, those are zombies. They're dead coming back to life. Even in the Dawn of the Dead remake, you know, there's clear scenes where they wait for the person to die and then turn, and that's when they shoot them. So on the back it says zombie film, and then right underneath it says mysterious virus. So infected, is it infected or is it a zombie movie? Those are two different movies, two different genres, subgenres right there. So a lot of people kind of just lump them in together, and that always kind of bothers me. I don't know, I'm a nitpicker. But this does look awesome from the trailers. It looks tense, it looks palpable, and I've heard people rave about it, again, which I've already said. So I'm excited for that one. Next up is Extraterrestrial, which I have seen, and I loved the majority of this movie. Very creepy, very tense, and it's from the Vicious Brothers, who created Grave Encounters, which is, I'm not a big fan of the found footage genre, but it's definitely one of the better found footage genres of late. Very underrated movie, I think, in my opinion, so I would definitely recommend checking that one out. But Extraterrestrial, I love movies with aliens, alien abduction, stuff like that. That's one of my favorite ones. One of the subgenres that freak me out the most. Fire in the Sky is the one I talk about all the time. The best alien abduction movie ever. This one had some really good moments in here, but then I didn't like the ending. The ending almost felt like just too romantic. It was too over the top for that. It's like The Notebook, but like, you know, with the horror kind of twist. I was like, oh, come on, she didn't do that, did she? And that was my only kind of gripe about it. I didn't like that. But once that part happened, it kind of expanded a little bit, which I did like. So I've kind of conflicted on that. But the rest of the movie I did really enjoy. Again, like I said, very tense. Group of friends go to a cabin in the woods and they see something crash in the sky. And, you know, they see something and they see footprints and all of a sudden aliens and they have to fight to survive. Very tense. I would definitely recommend checking this one out if you like alien horror. Next up is a comedy movie, Deck the Halls. This was $5.99. Dan DeVito and Matthew Broderick. I saw this once when I guess it first came out, and I remember being decently entertaining. Their neighbors kind of going back and forth who can have the best decorations and stuff, and you know, I do like the actors, especially Dan DeVito and Matthew Broderick too. There's a audio commentary with Dan DeVito and then the director John Whitesell too. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Dan DeVito's just awesome, very hilarious to me. So they're just kind of, you know, going back and forth. But lots of hijinks there. Looking forward to revisiting this one. And next up is Juan of the Dead, which I can't believe I didn't have this in my... I had it on DVD forever ago, and I got rid of it because I wanted to upgrade to the Blu-ray. I just never did. That's a mistake I've done before. But can't believe I didn't have this sooner in my collection. Love this movie. Super underrated. I'm going to do a top 10 and probably top 20 eventually underrated horror movies on Blu-ray list. I did this years ago, probably like 3 years ago, and I need to update that list, and this needs to be on it. And if you haven't seen this movie, I would highly recommend it. It's very much in the vein of Shaun of the Dead, but a Cuban version. It's Juan of the Dead, a slacker and his friends, and there's a zombie outbreak. Very entertaining horror comedy, zom-com. I would definitely recommend the heck out of Juan of the Dead. And this is relatively cheap. You can usually get it for under 10 bucks, which I did. And next are the Steelbooks. First up, it was a buy one, get one free. So I got the Hellboy Steelbook. Very simplistic artwork, but I think it works for it. I like the color scheme. Guillermo del Toro, fantastic director. I can't wait to see what he does in the future. Let me know what your favorite Guillermo del Toro movie is. Mine is Devil's Backbone. Love that film. And I like the cast in here too. Ron Perlman is Hellboy, and they've worked together before too. Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman, Kronos. But yeah, I like the cast in general here. Selma Blair, everybody else too. Rupert Everett, John Hurt. But very entertaining movie. Whenever this is on TV, I always sit down and watch it. I like the second one as well. Very visually stunning, but I definitely prefer the first one right here. And I'll go ahead and show you. The one thing I do have a gripe about is a lot of the artwork on the back is just, it's not there. There's nothing. It's just like, well, I did the front. I'm just going to give up now. And the artist even signed it. I'm like, come on, give me something on the back. Maybe he was just commissioned to do the front. I don't know. But, and then the interior artwork, there's a digital copy too, so that's cool. It's the director's cut. There's no real interior artwork, just color right there, which matches the rest of the Steelbook. But again, I wish there was interior artwork. I understand, not always, but back artwork, come on. But there's some special features too, which I dig. And I do like the artwork for the front. Next up was Christine, which this is the one that I got for free. And I have mixed feelings on this Steelbook too. I guess it's kind of like the old kind of car ad design. And I love the movie. John Carpenter, a legend. He's done some of my all-time favorite movies, including John Carpenter's The Thing, which is my all-time favorite movie. This is The Possessed Car. This is a classic. Just a fantastic film. Keith Gordon was awesome in here too. John Stockwell. Great cast. I like this. This is, again, I remember this is one of the earlier horror movies I saw. I remember like The Exorcist, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and like then there was other ones after that, like I think Child's Play. But Christine was one of the earlier horror movies I ever saw, and I just remember being fascinated by this one. Very thrilling, and just, I love the car too. I remember there's certain horror conventions where they would have the car, which I thought was really cool. I like when they do that. I was at a horror convention a few months back, Monsters and Robots in New Jersey, and they had a lot of different cars from different movies and TV shows, which I thought was a cool thing. And again, no artwork on the back, which they have, you got the autograph of the artist, but I don't know, I guess they're just commissioned for the front. So can't be too mad if that's the case. And then just the red interior right there. Now the Blu-ray, I held off on getting the Blu-ray for this for a while. I think this is one of those ones where it was like the limited Blu-ray, and then they re-released it, and then you can get it for cheap. I remember there was a signing for this somewhere, and I remember seeing it on eBay, and I missed out. I was trying to be cheap, honestly. You know, I was like, let me bid low. I don't want to start the bidding high, because then you're going to bidding more. So it ended up going for like 46 bucks for the signed Blu-ray of Christine. I can't remember how many people it was signed by, but I thought that was a great deal, and I was leading. It was like at 45 bucks. I was like, cool. And then I kind of forgot about, like, there was like, I don't know, an hour left. Somebody sniped me right at the end by like $1 or something. So I was like, oh. But yeah, so always bummed about that, because now I see people listing the signed Blu-ray. I guess there's a mass signing event for the Blu-ray release, the re-release for it from, I think, Sony maybe? And then people are asking like $150. You're never going to sell it. I see all these people on eBay putting up the signed Blu-rays for like crazy price, $150, $200. They've been sitting there for a year. You're never going to sell it. Put it on auction, get the real value. And that's what people don't understand. I mean, I love getting autographs, but a lot of times there's a niche market out there for it. There's only going to be certain collectors, and especially you have to have proof too. You want to get the, you know, if there's pictures, if there's a third-party authenticator, or if you even have like the little stub for the signing, that would be great too, or the convention that you went to. I'm just rambling now. But anyway, so I held off on getting the Blu-ray for a while because I wanted to get the signed one. But I was like, you know what? I gotta have this in my collection. I love the movie. So I got the Steelbook, especially when I saw it was a buy one, get one free. Next up is Boyz n the Hood. I've watched this movie 3 times in the past month. I freaking love this movie. I love the theme too. I want to get the soundtrack, but I guess there's no real soundtrack for it. At least I couldn't find one, especially with that theme song. I found the theme song on YouTube, but love the heck out of it. Tons of special features on there. And I know there's a UK Steelbook, which I like the artwork a little bit better on that than this. Ricky kind of looks like The Rock a little bit to me, like a young Rock right there. I guess with the kind of design right there, which is somewhat fitting, but not really. I mean, it's fitting for, you know, the theme of Boyz n the Hood, the ghetto and stuff like that, graffiti and spray paint and all that kind of stuff, but there really wasn't that going on in this movie. But a fantastic film, great cast, Ice Cube, Morris Chestnut, Cuba Gooding Jr., just everybody in here. I'm going to forget Lawrence Fishburne, of course, as the father right there, but love this cast, and just phenomenal. I just really, this is one of those ones that I can watch over and over and never get tired of. For me, like I said, I watched it 3 times the past month. It's made me realize this might be one of my favorite movies now. I mean, of all time. Again, I can just never get tired of watching it. I love everything about the raw realism, the ending. It's just great. And again, this one, at least, it does have some artwork on the back. I give them credit for the bricks and stuff, the spray paint, graffiti. And I guess they're all doing that kind of, you know, it's the pop art designs, I think these are called, for the Steelbooks, the autograph in the back. But again, it just kind of, it shows, you know, the life and the realism, the grittiness, and at the end, too, it's very tragic and sad, especially with the message with what happens to the Doughboy. But love this film. Never get tired of watching it. Oh, and the mother, Ice Cube's, Doughboy's mother in here, is also the wife in White Man Can't Jump. I remember watching White Man Can't Jump like right after I watched this. I was like, oh, I never noticed that before. But so that was pretty cool too. But a great cast in here. Everybody really shined, and just a fantastic film. But yeah, let me get on to the next one here, because this one was the buy one get one free too. So I got this one, and then I got this one for free, Pineapple Express. This is one of those movies when I first watched it, I was like, ah, it's a stoner comedy. I'm not a big fan of Seth Rogen or James Franco nowadays. It seems like James Franco, after he did 127 Hours, his career just went downhill, especially that Oscar co-hosting performance. Anne Hathaway did the best she could, but James Franco, I don't know what kind of drugs he was on, or if he just didn't care, but that was it was the worst Oscars performance host-wise ever. But Rosie Perez is still stunning. She's in here too. But hilarious movie that's grown on me. This is one of those ones when I first watched it, I was like, I don't care for this. And same with Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and now I really enjoy that one. So there's certain movies that if you give it a second chance, you'll appreciate. But there's certain movies like Napoleon Dynamite, which I still hate. Everybody loves that movie. I could not get into that movie. I gave that movie several chances, couldn't do it. But now I love Pineapple Express. It's a stoner comedy. It's hilarious, and tons of special features on here. And I think this is probably my favorite artwork of the bunch. I think that looks amazing to me. And you get the little pineapples behind there too, getting smoked up, hot boxed. And there's the artwork, and this has the pineapples too, which I love that. It's very unique. And there is the disc artwork, and each one of these comes with a digital copy too. So the first thing I did was I sold the digital copies for like $3 a pop. So I ended up getting these Steelbooks for just like dirt cheap, and then the other ones for free. So the buy one get one free deal was amazing. So yeah, I was really souped on this whole lot right here. So let me know if you've seen these movies and what you think of them. And leave me a comment or a video response down below. And if you get a chance and you want to get some Steelbooks at Best Buy, I think they still have the deal going on still. I'm not sure when it cuts off. Don't quote me on that. But if you get a chance, definitely go run to Best Buy and check it out, because you can get some awesome deals on some of these Steelbooks. Again, I'm just souped on that. Buy one, get one free, and the digital copies too. Each one of the Steelbooks like equated to like $5 a pop or something like that, with selling the digital copies. I mean, I think they were there like I think they were all like $12.99. So essentially you get, so that's 13 bucks, was it like a $6.50 a pop right there. But then if you sell the digital copies, again, like I said, it marks it down to like eventually like $3 a pop, something around there. So pretty souped. Yeah, so there you go. I'm rambling, but let me know again if you've seen the movies, what you think of them, and hope everybody's doing well. Take care.